welcome everyone. Arthur Bablis here, and I'm excited. We are here, Conscious Conversations here. It is Monday, our Conscious Conversations, the Conscious Mastery Academy, and I am excited. We got two beautiful souls. We're going to have a great conversation tonight, and you're going to love these girls. I've known these girls now for the last 15 months, and I've just been sitting back watching the work they do, and geez, for millennials, I think they've got it together. You don't see it a lot with the millennials, but I think for millennials, these two souls have got it together. So, guys, I want to thank you for coming and streaming. We are streaming, of course, to all our channels. We've got YouTube happening. We've got my face is a little bit pale. Let me get this color happening. Saturation. Let me get my face. Put more color in my face. I don't know. What do you reckon? That's a little bit better. I don't know. So guys, we're streaming in all our channels. Let us know where you are watching from. If you're watching live or listening live, let us know. #live. If you catch it on replay, #replay. And let us know where you're watching from, because of course, if we know you're watching from the Philippines, from Western Australia, from the States, who knows where you're listening or watching from, let everyone know, because that's going to help everyone get this out to as many people as we can. So, all right, guys, let's get started, because we've got a great night. And I want to introduce these two beautiful souls, these two girls, women, souls. I mean, the first time I met them about 15 months ago. I was at a business conference in Queensland, in Brisbane, and they just had this energy about them. They just had this spark. They had this frequency. People just gravitated towards them, and they were people that you go up to, that you'd ask for some help, and they'd always put they'd lend a helping hand. They were always there to help you get the result that you want. And so, watching them over the last 15 months, what do these girls do? And you know what they do, man? They help people like you, people like us, to be able to experience freedom that we deserve in our life. They are wellness seekers. They're spirituality seekers. Wellness, health, nutrition, energetics is a big part of their makeup. And they do a lot of work with human design. I know you might have heard of the term human design. How can you understand astrology, the stars, your energetic makeup, how you can find out more about who you are to actually help you make better decisions in life, so you can move forward with grace and with ease. Guys, I want to have a huge conversation with the girls, find out about their story and a little bit more about energetics and human design. Let's bring them on down. Everyone, let's give a warm welcome to the Freedom Sisters, Courtney Anderson and Cristiin Melbourne. Come on down.
He knows what's up. Arthur, you are so incredible. That introduction was by far the best ever. So thank you.
Yeah, that's the best introduction we've had.
I got some people laughing hard, the applause. I need the morning alarm. I want the morning alarm, all these sound effects. Guys, look, it's a real privilege to have you in the house. And I know we usually have like 30 or 40 minutes in the conversation, but I'm happy for this to go on as long as it needs, because not only do you guys have a story that I want you to share, because I want to find out more about you too. I mean, we know each other, but we probably haven't really sat down, apart from that night in Brisbane just recently. We sort of sat down, had a drink, and Josh was with us and we're having a chat about stuff, right?
Yeah,
I just got to know you a little bit more in terms of, your background and what your mission is and why you do what you do and what led you to here. So that's what I really want to do, because, this show that we've put together, the Conscious Evolution Show, over the last 18 months, we interview, we have conversations with people within the field, people who work in the field of complementary medicine, personal growth, human evolution, energetic work. And we'd like to know more about their story. How did they get to where they got to? Because, there's people that are listening, and what we think is most personal to us tends to be most general to other people. And by hearing our story, it lifts other people, helps them realize, oh my God, if these two beautiful girls can do it, then I can do it. If he can do it, then I can do it. So we're here to provide some inspiration. We're here to be able to help people realize that, we're on this planet collectively as a group together for a global mission. And once I think you can connect to your purpose and you know what your North Star is, then life becomes easy for you. And I think that's what you girls have done. And again, I'm going to give you another rap, because we've been in this field for 27, 30 years, and we've trained thousands of people. And it's very rare to find people in your age group, right, to be very clear with what their purpose is, to be very clear with what their North Star is, and to be doing whatever they can do to make a difference, you know, from your silent discos to the music that you love, to your dance, to your nutrition, to your health, to your energetics, to human design. You've packaged all this together in the Freedom System movement. So that's why we got you here, and we want to learn more about you girls.
Thank you.
Oh, you are incredible, Arthur. We are so honoured and blessed to be here and speaking to you, whoever you are, wherever you are tuning in from across the globe. Please let us know. We love to be connected with people from all parts of the world, and we love travel. Courtney and I, I'm sure we'll talk into all of our values and everything as we go through this session, but there's been so many things that have just dropped into me, and I'm sure the same for Court as you've been chatting up, like mission, you know, where we've come from and how this has all come about, and that's the power of sharing stories with each other, is about this, you know, collaboration over competition. The more that you get out there and speak to other people and see the world that we live in, the more appreciation and gratitude that you have. It just keeps going, the layers and layers and layers of unconditional love that you find in this. And so we'll talk lots of things. So
so let me ask you first,
yes,
where did you girls meet? How did you girls know each other? Like, are you friends from school, or did you just bump into each other? So what was the first meeting between the two of you?
So we'll back it up. Well, we're married with 4 kids.
People think that, but we're not.
People do think that. We've been asked many times if we're in a relationship. We're not. We are soul sisters that have come in from another lifetime, many lifetimes together, and to take on this world and help transform, up-level the planet altogether. So we're on a big mission, definitely, just like you, Arthur. We were, I would say, we were friends of friends back in school. Friends of friends, knew of each other, probably played netball together. We decided, we realized one day that I think we played netball, and went through school. Then after school, the good old, you know, you're in network marketing company or multi-level marketing, whatever it is. Court sends me a happy birthday message, which is really beautiful because they teach you so many phenomenal communication skills and how to be a leader and to not have all these responsibilities of traditional business and grow. When you've got great mentorship and great systems, it's fantastic. And so Court was saying happy birthday to me, and we ended up leading into this phenomenal community. And I was already attending at 15 women in business events, and so I was going and hanging out with 60-year-old, 50-year-old women, and I didn't feel like I fit in, but they were obsessed with me. They were like, wow, you're so young, you're so beautiful. And I was like, oh, this is not my place. But I wanted to be around high level people. I resonated with them in some way, and I love the curiosity of learning and growing and other people's journeys. And so to be with a younger community, that really appealed to me. And so I joined in and had so much fun. We did so much together, and our friendship just blossomed. Business obviously blossomed. We then moved like fast track.
We're from Gippsland, Victoria, if anybody knows.
Victoria, okay. All right.
So we're sort of your farm girls, but not really at the same time.
Our paddock land.
Literally, so an hour out from Melbourne. So always we were in the same suburb, and we had a lot in common. We had been through similar experiences at this stage in our life. And then I ended up moving in with Cristiin, and it just kind of blossomed from there too. We, Courtney came back from a kinesiologist appointment one day, quit a vet nursing job, and I was like, don't leave me behind. And we moved to Queensland. Literally within a month, we packed up all our stuff, and now we're here.
She helped me finish off my renovations at my place.
I didn't know that. So you saw a kinesiologist, and that helped you make some sort of... work through some stuff and help you make the decisions that you need to do to move forward in your life?
Literally. I said to Cristiin before, because I had these regular appointments. It's with Kathy from Connecting Balance. She's amazing, from Gippsland. And I had these regular appointments with her. And this one particular appointment, I was like, I don't really feel like I need to go to this appointment. You know, like I just feel like I should just cancel it. And Cristiin was like, no, you should go. Just go, and like you usually do. So I was like, okay. So I went and realized and unpacked with her that I just wasn't happy with where I was at with my job. And I was a vet nurse back then. And so we went through a bit of a process. She did it like a mini past life regression together with me. And I went through this beautiful experience. Long story short, I realized I need to quit my job. Next day, I quit my job at work. And I said to Cristiin, I've got to go and I want you to come with me, but if not, I've got to go anyway.
Yeah.
And then so that's where it all started. And within a month, renovations were done on her house and up we went.
Yeah. Boxing Day 2020 was the big move. It was a grand gap in Victoria's huge historical moment of COVID. And we took that gap and we ran it all the way to Queensland.
Literally.
Yeah. So it was incredible. So our journey has flourished so much over the years and evolved, and that's been important.
Yeah, I look at you two, and you know, I just recently, I don't know if you've seen it, right? And maybe I'm showing my age here, but you would know these people, right? I went away with a friend, and we're watching on Netflix Wham, the documentary. I don't know if you've seen it, the documentary of George Michael and Andrew originally, and they were friends from school, and they had this vision collectively when they came together to make a difference, make an impact with their music. And a lot of people don't know the story of George and Andrew and how they supported each other to get to where they got to. And like they did so much in a short space of time. Like they just had this energy as a team together. And that's the vibe I get from you two. You've got this energy as a team together that like anything can happen in the space of, look how much has happened in the last 12 months, right? So what's going to happen next 12 months, next 24 months, wherever you go. Okay, so you decided to move to Queensland, right?
Yes.
And so what did you do? What's the first thing you started doing together? Were you doing the silent discos and then you got into the water, and then obviously into the energetic work is a big thing for you guys, then human design, you know, when did that come into the picture? Tell us more about that, and so we can learn more about that.
So after we moved, we then lived at Courtney's parents for a little bit, then bought a house together 6 months later, and then 3 months after that, we actually opened our ABN, the Freedom Sister Movement. So signed our official documents on the 11th of the 11th, 21. And it started with our ecstatic dance practice. So one of our dear friends and mentors and soul sisters trained us how to run the events and inspired us to do it. And so we took it on to run them all over the Sunshine Coast. And so we bought our own headset equipment. I'm like a DJ at heart, so I intuitively pick all my playlists for each event, and we just do this phenomenal job of like Court takes the most gorgeous content and photos of people and, you know, holding the energy in the space while I'm like guiding people.
And you got the headphones on.
Yeah, literally got the headphones on.
Yeah, don't tell me you've got the headphones.
Put the headphones on.
Yeah, with everyone. Exactly.
Minus the cord.
Minus the cord. So everybody's got these headphones on and exactly like Arthur, and absolutely jamming out and having the time of their life. It's such a transformative experience on the beach, sunrise, sunset. Yeah, eyes closed, in the body. Just here we go. He's gonna wait.
Oh, stop!
Let me get that. What's happening with that? I don't need that anymore. There we go. That's me and the bees, all right. Oh, they get all these cameras right.
Yeah.
Let me come back.
Let me come back in.
Oh, we do. We have to ground people after.
Yeah.
So important.
We have ceremonial cacao with the event, and we go through the whole practice.
But music, let's just say because when people are able to connect to a specific frequency of vibration, it just sends them on a journey, right? That's transformational in itself.
It is.
Where people, whether it's an escape for that moment or a connection with specific tones and frequencies, we're able to connect to other aspects of themselves.
Yes.
You know, that's what I think. That's what music does for a lot of people, and so it's part of a healing process, really, that you take people through.
Yes, very, very healing. Yeah, we have the most beautiful testimonials that people give us all the time, and because it's so heart opening. Cacao itself is heart opening spiritually and physically. Like there's things that happen in the body, and then going through a guided playlist and all different types of music. Like I'm picking slow, acoustic, fast paced, you know, tribal, reflective, all the different genres, different types of music I'm picking and putting it together to design the energy of that space. And so it's every event and every time we meet and every group, is magical. It's a unique blueprint of that energy and that magic that's created in that experience. And so people feel that, and they take that out into every area of their life going forward. And it's just,
it feels like this confidence, because right, for me, I used to be that girl that would have to have one drink and then I'm out on the dance floor, even though at my heart I wanted to be out there. I wanted to just be free. But as soon as I could only do it after I had this one drink. And so, you know, to be able to be free on the beach, fully expressing yourself, you know, dancing with moves and nature and doing all the things, and with the community, like for myself, it's next level. And so we were like, we have to share this with people. We have to, more people need to be able to experience this in their life, and more fun and happiness and play.
It's very liberating.
Well.
Very liberating experience. So,
and you know, people would look at you and say, okay, well, obviously you're attracting a younger market or the millennials, but you get a cross section of people come to see you, right?
Because
that's the funny thing.
That's the hilarious thing, is we don't get anyone that's like, I'm 26 and Court's 26 as well. And so we started this a couple of years ago, and we don't get people that are our age. It's very rare, actually. We get we have both men and women, more women that come to our events, but we get a lot of moms or women over the age of 30. Our beautiful oldest Freedom Frequent Flyer is about 70 years old.
Freedom Frequent Flyer. Wow.
That's what it's called.
Why would people come to you? Why do they come to the events? What are they going through that they're looking for, that these events can help them with?
Yeah, it's a sense of feeling, there's some loneliness there. There's a sense of feeling lost, wanting more fun, wanting more freedom in their life, wanting more understanding and compassion for themselves, some self-love. I know self-love gets thrown around a lot, but it's like this unconditional love. It's meeting all parts of yourself, and that's why some of the music will challenge people and trigger people, the word, on purpose. So you meet these shadowy parts of yourself and you're okay with it, and you feel safe in this community that's supporting you energetically. And that's why the headsets are so powerful, because you go into this portal of sound and it's just you, and then you've got, you know, random strangers walking past you, but you break through these limiting beliefs of I look silly or anything else that can come up for people. Really powerful, really powerful. So it's incredible. That's our events. So we
part of it,
we go to retreats, and we go to other people's workshops, and people hire us for birthdays and private functions, and
we do hens. So much fun.
As well as our public events, so on the beach, and it's incredible.
Okay, so that's the music part of the Freedom System movement. You know, we've got a lot of people saying wow, wow, wow on the chat. So let us know, if you're listening or watching now, what's the one thing you've heard so far, or the one thing that you'd like to get involved with and go, oh my God, I've got to do that. I've got to put these headphones on and start connecting.
I've got to do it.
They're all supplied.
Let us know, because, you know, when we get to the end, you know, we'll let you know how you can connect with the girls and maybe do some work with them. But, so the sound is part of the Freedom System movement. You know, obviously, you've got, you know, health, wellness, nutrition, you know, water, because you're talking about energetics, right? And so we're more than 70% water, and so it has a frequency and energy, and so getting the right water puts you in the right frequency in order for you to experience wellness. So you're passionate about that. Tell me about that passion as well. How do you bring that in with the work that you do? Because then you add the energetic stuff and the human design, and your coaches. You actually have containers where you take people through like a journey, you know, 12 weeks or 16 weeks or however it is, of going through the different areas in life for them to actually redesign themselves, reinvent themselves, and, you know, transition through those major stages in their life. I think I was talking about this with a friend this morning. You know, all coaching that we do out there is actually transitional coaching, because the only reason someone's got a problem is they're conflicted, they have a problem transitioning from where they are now to the next stage in their life, or that area in their life, whatever the context is, the health, the career, the relationship. So the transition is where they realize they need to be doing something else or being someone else and letting go part of their old. And of course, it's the fear of letting go. It's the whatever is attached to that, which we can talk all night about it. But you use all these things in your program.
Yes.
Right. So let's
Yeah.
find out a little bit about more the wellness and the water, and then maybe we'll get into the energetics and the human design.
Yay.
That's really
Yeah,
I
there's
want to find out.
so much. We're so excited to chat with you guys.
I know.
It's awesome.
There's so much we want to share.
Yeah, ask any, like Arthur was just referring to before, ask any questions if you want to as we go along. That'd be awesome to see from you guys. So, I'll just say it like this, very direct. You can go to as many beach dances as you want, but unless you're looking after your health in many other ways, the water you drink, the food that you eat, the way you talk to yourself, and the way you move your body outside of that dance, that's not going to matter. It's going to fix a surface bit for a bit, but it's up to you to have this radical responsibility every single moment that you're living out your life. At the end of the day, you're the one who's responsible for the quality of life that you live. And so that's where our mentorship, and that's where the energetics, and that's where, you know, the journey really begins, is understanding that you've got to be inspired by your own life every second of the day. And if you're not, why not? And these are such high quality questions to ask yourself and reflect on for yourself, because you hold the answers within.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the mentorships that we, like, I guess,
the water. Yeah. The water. Yeah.
Well, before we get into that, because now we've gone, I love the conversations, but we're just going tangents that we need to go, right? So we'll come back to the health and wellness and to the mentorship, but you just said these are the questions you need to ask yourself in order to actually going through that transition, to make the decisions you need to make to become the person you need to be, to bring more of what's important in your life, the love, the happiness, the joy, the unconditional.
Yes.
And many times for most, and this is my experience, not only for myself, people that I've worked with and seen, many times it's not until we go through something in our life,
Yes,
a pivotal moment, a signature moment. And a lot of people say it was pain or it was trauma. Well, they're just buzzwords, right? They're just labels that we give an event that we had in our life, an energy experience, right?
Yeah.
But we go through these moments where we have to search deep within our soul in terms of, you know, what's the lesson here? You know, we ask the question, why does this happen to me, as opposed to what do I need to learn from here? So the quality of your questions will get you the quality of your answers. And so everyone has gone through a moment which has acted as a catalyst.
Yeah.
For them to look back and say, you know, this is the moment. This is the moment I'm going to make it a signature moment, a signature day, a signature week, a signature month, a signature year, where when I look back in years to come, I'm going to say that's the moment I made a decision to take radical responsibility. Love the words that you said. What was the moment for both of you? So what was the point in your life where, and I'm sure it's different for both of you, so I love that from both of you, that, you know, you said, no more of this.
Yeah.
I need to move towards my light, move towards my purpose, move towards what's in my soul. No more of this conditioning or whatever it was. So what happened to you? What was the aha moment in your life for you to make that change to being where you are now?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many aha moments. However, a major one is around this subject of radical responsibility, because honestly, for myself, I don't think I really understood what radical responsibility meant and felt like in my body until probably the past few months or a year.
Yeah.
And because business has taught me so much, the friendship and the deep, you know, friendship that we have has taught me so much about myself, more so than my former partner, you know, all of these things. There's so much that I've learned about myself and how I behave and how I act. And I was really at a point last year, vulnerably, I was at a point again of when I first started my journey, I was at a point of not liking the way I was behaving or not liking the way I was acting. And then I recently had the same similar situation happen. I think that was probably over a year ago or something now. And so that moment then was the moment that I decided that I didn't want to continue this way. You know, I'm in business with someone, like, why am I ruining these friendships and pushing people away, like self-sabotaging?
Yeah.
And what was that leading to? So you're self-sabotaging, pushing people away. You're acting in a way that you didn't want to act. So what I'm listening to and hearing is that you're not aligned, you're incongruent, you're in conflict within yourself. So you had this internal turmoil going on, which ultimately that leads us down a cascade of a whole range of different behaviors and attracting situations in life that we, you know, not that we consciously want, but unconsciously we do want. That's why we create it, right?
Yes.
And so what was the moment though? What was the moment where you said no more of this? What happened?
I remember I was sitting on my bed, and like we were at a place deep in our friendship where I was pushing away from Cristiin, and I was just like, I don't want to do that. And I just remember sitting on my bed, and I had just started with these mentors of mine as well, like just absolutely not. Actually, it was at a shop. We were doing some live sales, and it was that moment where I was like, that's it, I'm done. And I can't do that anymore, and I can't push people away, all because of this feeling of self-comparison. And that, I feel like that can be quite common in when working with people, especially collaborations in business, is this comparison. But it's remembering that you're on the same team. Like, but it's just these inner demons inside you that are just trying to persuade you, or just can get in there sometimes. So that was of course with many moments. For me, it was that moment of looking at, it's just a self-worth thing. I really felt was like my own worth was feeling challenged, and wanting attention and not being able to give that to myself. And then of course I've done so many work with that, and we've had so many hard conversations, and even just the practices and experiences that we both have experienced ourselves, and then constantly choose to put ourselves in to grow. And we've had incredible experiences since then to really, especially for myself, of like regaining that self-love for myself, because that's all it is at the end of the day. It's just about coming back home to you. And when you have unconditional love for yourself, you have unconditional love for other people. And so, it's all about going within. And so at that point, I just decided that, okay, I've got some inner work to do, because all of these shadows surface, especially coming from business and, as it happens. And so, that was one major moment for me that I can think of on the spot.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
What about you,
Yeah.
Cristiin? What about you? What was the moment that you can look back and say, hey, this was a moment that was pivotal for me?
Yeah, mine was quite some time ago. There was there's been quite a few moments in my life that I can recall, but one in particular that's coming forward now was I lived in my old property, the one that Court came and lived with me, and then we moved out, and I was there, and I'd come back from my nan's, and I felt really unwell the whole afternoon. There was a lot that was going on with the relationship with my former partner. It was a huge amount, and it was lots of things. My own self-worth, like Court, I can vouch for that. My own self-worth was being totally challenged. My self-love wasn't there. Compassion for myself, kindness, knowing what my values are, and then knowing how I want to show up as a woman, or in relationship, or in other areas of my life, with my money, with my family, with my friends, how I wanted to show up with work. All of that was definitely at a pressure point. And I remember feeling really unwell, and I come back from Nan's, and I went to bed, and I felt like so sick. And I got up in the middle of the night. I have no idea what time it was. I went down, toilet, spewed. And then it was the second time that my body woke myself up. I took 2 steps near the doorway, and then I don't remember the rest. And I woke up down the hallway in a pool of blood. And I was just like beside myself. I didn't know what had happened, but I knew that this was the turning point, and I knew that I had to do something different to get something different. Like Einstein says, insanity is the same thing over and over again. Like, you've just got to change. You've got to be that next person and step into that. And then, so I went to hospital, and it was in the early hours of the morning that I was laying in that bed, and I was just reflecting on that moment of waking up and knowing, okay, I've got to change. And I just bawled my eyes out for hours. And so that was, that showed me how much pressure from every area of your life a human being can go through, and then have something physical manifest from that. Like, we're very big believers that we'll talk about energetics. Like, that wasn't just a freak accident. That was a huge wake-up call from the universe and for myself to do something different. It was, the whole scar is on my head here, and it's on my Instagram. It was horrific, but like, so much could have happened from that moment. I just prayed and said, thank you for this message to come with ease and grace. It was fine, even though the hospital didn't think so. I just was in deep gratitude, but also in deep sadness and grief, because now I was grieving old parts of myself. and how the identity had just cracked open and fallen away, and it was like, okay, who am I? Finding myself again. What do I value? How do I show up as a woman? Being super hyper in masculine energy, like where's my divine feminine energy gone? You know, from all the way back when I was younger. All of these realizations came out, and it is a healing process. So it doesn't change overnight, but you can certainly do things in moments. So that was one big moment.
Look, there's a lot in what you said there. Number one, thanks for sharing, both of you, your stories. And again, as we said earlier, what we think is most personal to us is most general to other people. It's like, I'm sure there's people out there who are going through their own version of the experiences that you've gone through, that we've gone through, that other people have gone through, that we have these conversations with. But we know in this world of, energetics, or the world that we do, that we're an energetic spiritual being having a physical experience. So we chose on one dimension for us to actually come on planet Earth and to have this physical experience, to be in a 3D body. So, people use the term 5D. What is 5D? 5D is being a spiritual being. And I think the lesson that we're here to learn, though, the first lesson, is the lesson of descension, because we've chosen to descend as a spirit into the physical body. So spirit more energetic, more yin, more feminine, right? And the physical body more yang, more masculine. So, that's part of the balance, right? So we chose to have this, that's my take at least, you can give me some feedback. We chose to come in this physical world for the lesson of descension, self-mastery. And yet a lot of people get caught up in the body, the physical, the masculine, or they get caught too much on the feminine and they don't have that balance in between, right?
Yeah.
And that's where they don't experience that freedom within themselves. And perhaps you mentioned it yourself, Cristiin, that, whatever you're doing before, you realize you were more in that masculine energy, that you needed to have a wake-up call to connect to the energy, to balance you, to harmonize you, the feminine, in order for you to heal, to be able to then reconnect, because it's always there. It's not that we discover it and find it. Reconnect with our calling and also our purpose, so you can start living your life, fulfilling that, and making a difference with what it is that you do.
Yeah, and a really important point is, if a human being doesn't consciously create, I guess, tension or challenge or a stretch in their life, however you want to describe that, then unconsciously or subconsciously, or the universe will create it for you. So in that moment, because I wasn't creating challenges for myself that stretch my soul, that impact my vision, that expand me, because I wasn't doing that, something's come along, and that was the wake-up call. So it's really important to understand that, really grasp the concept of that, like, how am I challenging myself, or how am I wanting to expand? And that comes with a bit of friction. It could be hard conversations getting on here. How am I consciously choosing that for myself, so that I'm not having wake-up calls just come in and saying, why is this happening to me?
It's a very big part of our journey, of why we do what we do. Because we know, and when you know, you can't unknow.
Yes.
Either.
When you see, you can't unsee.
So what's important for you, and that's obviously led you to come together to fulfill your destiny, the purpose, in terms of the freedom system movement, to actually help people to reconnect with parts of themselves and understand who they are. How do you know who you are if you don't know who you are not? I've always said, how do you know who you are if you don't know who you are not? So you need to explore who you think you're not, because who you think you're not is possibly who you really are at your core, that you need to heal. And so you've gone on this journey of bringing energetics in, and health and wellness and nutrition and human design. Tell us about that. How did that happen? So what's your background in the energetics, and what's the background in the human design?
So for me, I was raised in an incredible household with a single mum from the age of 8. So a lot of things happen around family violence between both sides, and so there's a lot that happened in my childhood. But from that point on, my mum is an incredible woman. Both mum and dad are incredible. They contributed to the woman I am today, so thank you very much. Mum was, or is, a naturopath. She's a herbalist.
I call her a medicine woman.
She's a medicine woman.
Yeah.
All right, so that's where it came from. Now we know. That's the missing link.
Nutrition, health, water. I was raised on the beautiful ionized water, all the things. Mum is the goddess of that. And so I have always been accustomed to energetics, listen to Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer and Hay House Rain and all the things growing up. And so I really learned, you've got to walk your talk. and you've got to be accountable for yourself, and radical responsibility, and what is your identity, and your personality creates all these things. So I've always had a keen interest in astrology, and human design, a huge portion of it is astrology. And so Court is the human design expert in this this duo. And I love diving into astrology and looking at people's charts and working with the moon. I run my own moon circles with the girls, and that's fun to track, and it's an important part, especially for women.
So a lot of people might think, they hear astrology, human design, charts. It's like, is this part of the occult? Really, when you just go back, when you think about, history, the occult was just the science of the unknown, what they fear, they didn't know. But we're talking about ancient wisdoms and traditions and understanding, I suppose, the signature of the universe. Yes, because in the just the word signature is a sign of your nature. And so the moment you were born, there's a universal signature, an astrological pattern that was present in the universe. So if you can connect to that signature, then you can connect to the energetics, the really understanding more about what your lessons are in this world, and how do you shine the most, and where are your challenges, and where is your moon and your rising sun and all that type of stuff. And you get an idea of, think, wow, now I get it. Now I understand why these things bother me, or never felt complete with this, or it didn't feel right. And I'm more aligned when I'm doing this. It just makes sense. And then when you understand it, I think more and more people need to get to know this, to really understand their energetic blueprint, so they can actually make better decisions, have better communication, better relationships with people. And that's how you change the planet. One soul at a time, one person at a time. So all right. So tell me more then. Okay, so with the human design, so you're the expert, right? Courtney, so you're the human design person.
I love when it makes it. I'm like, sure. There's so much to it, but yes.
So if people want to know more about human design or astrology, reach out to the girls. How can they get access to you? Let's just cover that first, and we'll get the links up in all the pages. So how do they get access to you if they want to know more about your freedom system movement, or maybe the human design, or maybe the water? We haven't talked about the water yet, and that nutrition and the sound and the music and the beach parties. How do they get hold of you?
So, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. The Freedom System Movement is our business we have together, our beautiful community. We have a Facebook page. You can go and pop yourself in there as well, the Freedom System Movement. I'm on Facebook as Cristiin Melbourne, and Instagram as well, and LinkedIn.
And then obviously, myself, Courtney Anderson, you'll find me on Instagram and Facebook too, and occasionally on TikTok, not really.
Well,
we're on all platforms.
Well, right now I can see all the links popping up in all the pages. So all our girls in the Philippines are doing a wonderful job. So we've got all the links going on there. And so, please reach out to the girls, because if listen to their story, you think, wow, I want to know more. Or maybe you're feeling stuck right now. You're in that transitional moment where you think, well, I need some help to be able to maybe reconnect with parts of myself, understand maybe why am I reacting this way, and what are my options? And how can I move through this with grace, as you said, and with ease? Reach out to the girls, because that's what you're going to get. And so tell us then more about human design. People saying, what is it? How does it combine astrology and what do you do?
So the main thing to understand, because I like to bring it really back to basics with human design, because it is such a big system. And so if you love learning about yourself, it's an amazing tool and resource in order to be able to do that. And another major thing that I really love about human design is that it's about deconditioning. I feel like a large part, and we can vouch for this ourselves too, so much a part of our life, there's all of society's conditioning, there's our parents, there's all of these things and expectations that we can have. And so for myself, I was like, who am I? When we actually strip back all these things, it's like, is that actually my truth? Do I actually align with this? And it's about building confidence within yourself too. So I really love expressing it as a way of deconditioning from all of the noise that's going on, and a way of listening to your heart's truth. reconnecting with your body, reconnecting with your energy, reconnecting with all of your energy centers, breaking away from fears, letting go of what's not good for you anymore, learning how to communicate and how to manifest. And there's so much that can come into it. And so, yeah, it is really a beautiful system and tool. It has lots of different modalities that come all together and bring it. And yes, a large part of it is astrology too. And so, yeah, we've helped over, I think, 60 men and women through our journeys so far, and our 16-week lifestyle revolution journeys, as well as do one-on-one support too over a couple of weeks. But we get so much more thrill and so much more out of it because we're talking about embodiment. We love embodying things. So what we love to know is like, I want to know how you're integrating human design. So many people come to us and they come to me and they're like, I've seen my chart before, but I have no idea how to read it, and so they run for the hills. And so that's what I then, do the free 15-30-minute sessions in order to be able to, like, I'll show you what you can get out of your human design chart and how to read it too. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful tool to learn more about yourself. I think I went on a lot of tangents.
No, it's good.
No, perfect.
One point I'd love to let everyone know as well is it is a remembering of who you are.
Yes.
And that's why Court talked about the deconditioning, and it's important to break away from all these expectations or limitations or other people's values and beliefs that are imposed on us. It's a remembering of your soul's desire. It's your energetic blueprint, your soul map to coming here, and what mission you might be leading here, and that so you're uncovering that. And that's why it's important to have someone like Cord or myself unpack that with you and hold space for you, and question and ask you things to open up the heart more and to get curious. And so it's always important to have an open heart and mind with these things as well. Yeah,
I love that. So it's a remembering of who you are, because as we said, you when you come onto this planet, there's a signature, universal signature, which is out there. And so if you can tap into that frequency, it's like doing primordial sound meditation. If you can tap into the sound that the universe was making the moment you were born, you're tapping into that frequency or that mantra to reconnect you with that moment you manifested physically, right? So all these things are just tools. I love how you said that, Courtney. They're just tools to actually help you to discover yourself or rediscover yourself. But in that discovery, in that awareness, that's where it's going to help you with the decisions that you need to make to transition to that next stage of wherever you are on the evolutionary journey on this physical plane, whether that's in your health, your career, your relationships, or your business or money, whatever that might be. What's the next stage for you? How do you take that next step with integrity, with alignment, right? And with congruency with who you are? People think this is all woo-woo stuff. Well, and that's okay. They're entitled to think that. Everyone's entitled to have their thoughts. But we're talking about esoteric sciences. We're talking about ancient wisdoms, traditional wisdom, stuff that people knew that the masses don't know. Yes. And only a select few people do know that have used it for their advantage. And I think if you can understand this and you can use it to fulfill your purpose of making a planetary difference, one mind, one heart, one soul at a time. So
Can I just say the thing I love about it is that people come to us and they're seeking for these answers. And this is what I did at the start of my personal development journey as well, when I was about 21 years old. And the thing is, you already have the answers within you. And so when I'm talking about human design, one, I encourage you to try it for yourself, because I can say I've been the biggest skeptic of so many things, including human design. And so looking into it and actually trialing it for yourself. So my question is to you, have you tried it before? Because with anything, you can't, how do you know unless you try it? And for me, it related so much. So if you have that session, I can guarantee you'll be like, what? This relates so much. It takes weight off your shoulders.
So what you're saying, people can have a 30-minute reading consultation to get a understanding of an overview of their blueprint, and to see where they connect with that, and they'll know at that moment what it means for them and what the next step is to move forward.
And
so guys, reach out, because you've heard it here. All right. Courtney from the Freedom Sister Movement is going to give you a 30-minute reading, a 30-minute opportunity to have a unpacking of your chart based on the models of human design and see how that may help you understand maybe why you're going through what you're going through and why you're acting the way you're reacting, and then what you could do in order to actually move through this again with grace and with ease. That's really what. Yeah.
Literally. And it goes also then to the next layer of you then have this deeper compassion, gratitude, understanding of other people around you, because you found it within. It then ripples out and you go, oh, you're like that, and you start to see people's value and strength instead of why is this person like this, and all. It's like a totally different frequency of conversations and questions, which, you know, I remember when Court showed me the video of my energy type, and we're walking back from the train station, young days, and I was like, whoa, this is me. I was, absolutely shell-shocked, but in awe, because I just thought, this is so relatable. And it was a aha moment, and it was sigh of relief. I was like, oh, I can take another bag off the shoulder, you know, throw it out. That's just me. And I process things. I process emotions in life and digest things in this certain way. And that's okay. And now I have the power, and I'm empowered and encouraged to articulate to people, this is how I process, this is how I digest, this is how I do things, you know. So, and then people now have the opportunity to take that on, respect, honor, appreciate me, then also articulate theirs. And it just,
especially.
I love what you said there, because what's coming to me, sorry to interrupt, Courtney. A lot of people know the 5 love languages, right? They read the book and they understand that people act differently. Things are important to them in their relationship. Well, you know what this is? What you're talking about is life languages.
Yeah.
So true. I love it.
There's a book. It's like, what if you were to unpack the 5, 7, or 9 main life languages, and you understood how you process emotions, how you made decisions, how you took on things, and what was important to you, then you knew how to interact with people and yourself more effectively, then you get more out of life.
Yes.
Life language. You heard it here first, guys.
Yeah.
So we've trademarked it. Life languages with the Freedom Sister movement.
I love that.
Collaborator. I love it.
What were you going to say? Yeah.
No, I love this, because there's so much that's going through my mind right now. And I love it because I love bouncing off people. Arthur, especially for the business owners, they're particularly the ones that we're really passionate about. We've always, like Cristiin said, she shared a story about being such a young girl and going to these women's networking events. And so, you know, it's really important if you're in business to have this understanding, not just for yourself, but then know how your leaders lead.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, I'm very passionate about doing masterclasses for other people's communities as well. So I love to do that and love to get more of that out there. But you just work more efficiently because of how we've, you know, discovered how we like to run business. It's really, really important to know the energetics of not just yourself, but then your business too.
Yeah.
And so that just has then ripples. And even our VA, we love her so much, and we know her human design. She's a manifesting generator. So there's
all right.
You know, there's all these elements of, okay, especially if you're in business, really, really important. I really encourage you to learn more about it, no matter what business you're in too.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's interesting. I like how you say, especially in your business, and not that we're disregarding people who aren't in business, but there's a step that people take from employee to employer. There's a step that the masses take when they say, you know, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of working for someone else. I need to do something for myself. It's a mindset shift. It's identity shift. And that's the shift that people are more open for possibilities and growth. And, you know, when we do the levels of consciousness in NLP training, we understand that's what they call values level 5, right? And that's the values level 5 of being in the physical world, of that's what you need to master, the I. This is the I of the I, like, what happened to my screen? Oh, there you are. This is the I of the I, right? As soon as I said the I of the I, my TV went black. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. It's true.
So this is really getting into... you know, understanding you and your core, and then making a shift from that. And I think that people at that values level is you master. The only way to appreciate energy and spirit is to master your mind.
Yes.
And you only can master your mind through your physical existence on this planet. That's where we came in this 3D world, to master our mind.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I love how you said that, because that's the people that you want to be working with. And not that we're discounting everyone else, but if you are right now, let's say you're someone who might be feeling that, you know, deep inside, you've got this sense in your soul that there's more for you,
Correct.
and you're yearning to be able to break free to do something, and this noise is starting to get louder and louder and louder in your head, and then you close your eyes and you visualize a better and brighter future for yourself, but you just don't know where to start, and you just fall back into the old patterns. If that's you, you're ready to break free from that thinking to the entrepreneur, to the business person, no matter what it is that you're doing, because that's the mindset shift.
Yeah,
And I find and a lot of people who are not successful yet, and yet's probably the most appropriate word in the business world. They're there because they want freedom, but they yet to do that mindset shift. They yet to do that work to actually really move through that and understand it's not the extrinsic stuff that you develop in business. It's your business is a reflection of who you are.
yes.
So it's the inner work that you got to continue doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And just when we work with business owners and things like that, and we work with lots of everybody of all different walks of life, we're very firm believers, and from our experience, that everybody can have a business. And I'm not saying that it must be a Google type business, Amazon with tons of leads. It could be that you work this amazing 9 to 5 job, or you do work for someone else, but you have your creative passion coming out in something artistic or creative, or online, you're doing informational videos on YouTube, or you go and have some sort of side hustle or side business that is your own creation. We firmly believe everybody is more than capable.
Well, look at what we've done.
Yeah, look at
And look, Tony Robbins says, right, business is a spiritual game. And it is, because in order to move, and we're getting back to these values levels, and we might do that a masterclass another time, in order to get that values level 6, which is the vibration of energy and spirit, and that vibrational world, the energetic world, you need to go through that consciousness of values level 5, which is about mastering your mind. And that's business, right? Yeah. And a lot of people skip that. They go from this level, like the masses, right? They've had a session with a healer, and oh my God, I've just discovered meditation. I've just discovered crystals, and now I'm spiritual, right? I've evolved, and they get to do the work. And I'm saying that in tongue in cheek because I've seen it for 30 years. It's like, just because you meditate, just because you do yoga doesn't make you a spiritual person. No. You know, it's what you do during every day that shows us you're a spiritual person. Because you can meditate, you can do yoga, you can pray, but if you get triggered and you start and you act in a certain way, then you still got lessons to learn. Right?
And can I ask, do you feel like everybody are spiritual beings? It's just whether they choose to, I guess, tap into that or be open enough to explore that. How do you feel about that, or how do you feel around spirituality?
I agree. Everyone is a spiritual being, and everyone has has a yearning to tap into it. And part of their lesson is to, let's go back. What was in my opinion, the reason you chose to have a experience on this physical planet? What are the lessons that you chose as a soul to experience? Yes. And so you're going to attract the situations in this physical world. You're going to attract these traumas and events in order for you to maybe learn how to experience compassion, learn how to experience forgiveness, learn how to experience whatever it is that what you are yearning for as a soul. And you're going to attract the people and the situation in your life who are your spiritual friends. They're the spiritual warriors. The people who do the worst things to you are the things that love you the most, are people that love you the most.
Yeah, I was just about to share a really quick story from a mentor of ours who, in short, shared the concept and the understanding around when you're choosing to come into this lifetime. Imagine the people who've done the worst things to you. They were sitting at that table when you were all mapping out what your soul's purpose was to be in the human experience. And they all put their hands up to partake in that event so you could grow through it and go through it. Not, and just to think about that makes me emotional because it just, it totally obliterates a lot of what can happen to us, and have this appreciation of like, wow, and you start to see what you learned through it and what you gained from the experience. And you just start to understand, okay, if that is the case, if everyone sat around the table, put their hand up that they were going to be the father or the mother or the school teacher who did X, Y, Z to me, wow, there's almost no words for that, you know, and you may put your hand up in someone else's lifetime, but that's so we can evolve.
And again, for a lot of people, that might be a concept difficult to get their mind around, and that's okay. And I believe they're probably not listening to this.
Yeah.
Right? But if you are listening to this right now, part of you understands this. Part of you's got this yearning. And if you're feeling stuck, that's why you're listening to it. You can't be listening to this if there wasn't a reason for you to be listening to this, right? And so what is that reason that you're listening to it? And we're all on this journey. And I think we're not there yet. Do we ever get there? Right. Are we there yet? Right. Do we ever get there? You know, it's not necessarily the destination that we get to. It's the person that we become and that we discover on the way to the destination. That's the really what the journey is.
Yes.
And you know, as I look at you, we've gone on for an hour now, which is great. As I look at you, and that I think that's what you guys are doing. And you know, for me, it's like you're only 26.
Yeah.
Right? You were saying before, Courtney, right? You know, when you started on this personal development journey when you were 21, well, that was only 5 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like forever.
Only 5 years ago.
I know.
Right? So you think how much has happened in 5 years' time. And I want to say that because everyone that's listening here, I can guarantee you can go back and think about where you were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I want everyone to think back, where were you 5 years ago? What opportunities come up in your life that you didn't act on 5 years ago? What challenges did you have that you avoided 5 years ago? You think, oh my God, how much time has passed? If only I did that back then. Well, are you going to wait another 5 years? Because in 5 years' time, it's going to be 10 years from then. Right? Yeah. So, you know, it's like Tony Robbins says, right? We overestimate what we can do in 12 months, but we underestimate what we can do in 10 years or in 5 years. And so, and that's when you build momentum in your life. So guys, look, I know we've gone on an hour. We can probably go on more. I don't know if people are driving or cooking or whatever they're doing or listening. So, guys, if you've been listening, I just want you to reach out and just give these girls a huge round of applause. Fireworks and the beach parties. And reach out to them. Reach out, go follow their links and reach out to them and get hold of Courtney to find out more about your human design. Have a chat and connect with Cristiin to find more about the energetics or the water and the nutrition. And, you know, there's so much that these girls can share with you and help you transition through the stage that you're at. And, you know, girls, I just want to thank you for being here. It's awesome having this conversation.
Thank you.
You know, I was grateful I was on your show last week and you're on our show this week. And I'm sure we'll be doing some stuff, a lot of stuff together in the future. It's like, you know, man, I've got 30 years on you girls. Oh, my God. Right?
We're best friends. Yeah. And we're so excited to be doing the NLP with you and
End of August.
And just...
So I'm a Manny Gen too, you know.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
I'm just a projector and I'm a generator. So us generators work really well with the projector types as well. Great in business. But thank you so much for having us, Arthur.
So look, guys, if you're watching on Facebook, we're going to say goodbye. Wherever you're watching, Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever, just send your love to the girls. And look, if you've got any questions, if you're watching this on replay, ask them because we'll go through the chats and we'll connect with you and be able to provide some support for you. But you guys can hold on and we'll just say goodbye to everyone else, guys. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for our next Conscious interviews. There'll be more coming to you. Have a great night and we'll talk to you all very soon. Thank you for being here.